Eden Koz here with Just Be, and we are about to take a spiritual boom. We are at an unprecedented time in human history where we are transitioning from 3D to 5D within the great spiritual awakening. This video and audio podcast is the place for you to find your truth beyond politics, your sovereignty, your voice. Let's kick up your vibration now. By the way, each episode ends with the Just Be practice to do just that. And as we begin the show, just to know a little bit more about me, I'm a soul realignment specialist, meditation master, and dimensional healer. Learn more, and there's merch also at EdenJustBe.com. Let's get this party started. Eden Just Be Spiritual Boom. In association with the Grassroots Warriors Network. Welcome, Kristine Kieland in Minnesota.
Well, hello. Sorry, I clicked.
That's okay. Let's make sure it's okay. There is so, like, it was so funny when I was listening to the world and what's going on in the world. So I don't investigate, like I'm not, every day we have to see what's going on. But I like to keep just a nod and what human things are going on in the world. There are a lot of things going on specifically in your state. Yeah. Ooh, I can't hear you all of a sudden.
How's that?
That's much better. Thank you.
You want us to talk. We are going to talk no matter what.
We are going to talk. So,
yeah, my state's very dense. A lot of the ancient, archaic belief systems are coming to surface. Yeah.
Okay. So if you're willing, I'd love to talk about that.
Perfect.
So, for those who know Tim Walz, the governor, billions of dollars in Medicaid fraud, an ICE shooting there as well. So and Tim Walz is a really interesting individual as well. So we also, Kristine and I, here the note taker thing is coming up again. I'm going to exit. We got to do some work one-on-one. So I loved that because I get to really see who she is. So it's not just that we're coming on the show today. I'm going to do this more regularly too with my guests because I think it is so strong for like she and I to have a base before we are communicating and talking about things today. So I'm going to give a nod to your state, multidimensional channeling and mediumship, and I'm going to read your bio in a second. We're probably going to go into 2009, you having cancer, star seeds, codes, dimension, ascension worldview. Great.
Yeah, galactic. There's a lot of galactic remembrance coming in. And heritage, and there's new modalities coming in for that. Brilliant Black ambassador. Yeah. So the things.
Let's go into all of it. So y'all stay tuned. All right. Before I read Kristine's official bio, in a lot of shows lately, and this will continue, I want to talk about episode 188, gold IRA scams, because y'all know I was involved in one. So this is something near and dear to my heart. I believe as we continue the ascension, everybody's going to be taken care of. I'm not concerned about money. I'm not concerned about anything. Yet this is just fun for me right now. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some names out there. I had an IRA, so was divorced 5 years ago. So we split the IRA. I did not want my money being invested to Apple, to Bill Gates, to Microsoft, any of that. So I decided I would go into gold because I also believe that gold and silver are just great. And I would also encourage anyone listening, if you want to do something like this, I would also just encourage you having some gold and silver personally. I think that's really great. So anyway, just to give the story. So Glenn was on my show with Privacy Academy, and he mentioned at the very end about gold IRA scams. Kristine, I don't know if you know anything about this. And I was like, wait a minute. So when we got off the show, I said, Glenn, tell me a little bit more about this. And he's like, well, I will connect you to Kevin at Miles Franklin, and he can tell you more. So it turns out the two companies that I'd gone through are not that great. So Kevin spent 2 months with me. I ended up going with Miles Franklin and investing. That they do not care about that. They are out to help people because they have seen lots of people lose a lot of money. And luckily mine was okay. Like at first I was like, oh my gosh, probably for about an hour I was a little concerned, but then my mantra is everything works out for me. And it did. So Kevin spent 2 months helping me correct everything. So I ended up going with him. And this is so fun. My portfolio in the past 2 months has almost doubled. It's just, I don't know. I think your sound is off again.
You're kidding.
No, it's on. Okay,
good.
We're good.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay, so it's been so fun to watch. So I would suggest if you have an IRA or if you're concerned about being scammed as well, in episode 188, they also talk about the things to look for, the warning signs to look for. So anyway, contact them at info@milesfranklin and put Eden in the subject line because they know that you're coming from me. If you want to invest, if you have any questions, they are trusting people. And I keep talking about this, but I've also learned that you can have your gold and silver on paper, but it may not really be there. With Miles Franklin, it is there. They house it in Texas. So whatever you have on paper really exists, which I'm finding out that's really important too. Okay, enough of that. Let me read this beautiful bio right in front of my face. Kristine Kieland is a multidimensional medium, spiritual mentor, and translator of soul experience who bridges the unseen with the deeply human. I love that. Through her work, she guides others in remembering their divine origins and embodying their multidimensional nature as the collective transitions from 3 to 5D consciousness. Kristine's journey has been one of profound awakening, interdimensional connection, and service to the evolution of the human soul. Drawing on years of intuitive practice and direct communication with the higher realms, she helps clients activate their inner guidance and live in harmony. Take a breath there, with universal truth. This is neat. Her voice carries a frequency of remembrance, so y'all listen up, awakening the ancient wisdom encoded within each soul. I'm going to switch my paper. Okay, and y'all know I also produce the show, so sometimes I look at the clock, sometimes I look down at my notes. Hopefully I don't ask a question again that you've already said, Kristine. But all right, so I have to start. I saw you on an amazing podcast during COVID, during the lockdowns, with a woman from India. And you described what was going on with the virus so beautifully, not like, oh gosh, y'all are all just crazy, there's nothing to worry about. And you really took your time saying, I would encourage moving out of fear, really looking at things yourself and not just listening to the media and the news. It was just so wonderful how you presented it, because I don't know where she stood on it, yet she was like, she listened, which was really neat. So how did you start seeing the Great Awakening, the move to 3D to 5D? Did you always know, or was there something that just hit you in the face?
In hindsight, it's there's a lot of energy here. So sometimes many times it comes out as emotion, joyful, gleeful, blissful, sometimes tears, sometimes giggles. But in hindsight, as a little girl, as a very young child, maybe 3-4 years old, I had this deep, deep desire that the world would change.
Wow.
And that I knew coming in, it would be a tough road. And then I knew mostly my knowing is combined with feeling.
Yeah.
As a girl, I could feel the upsurge of consciousness, but I could also feel the despair of not getting there. And I didn't really know what that meant at the time. So it was a lot of up and down, trusting, not knowing, feeling loved, not feeling loved. Am I depressed? Am I happy? What's going on with the world? More in a really subtle way, and I have language for it now.
Yeah.
But I knew a pivotal point, that memory of mine, is the Fifth Dimension came out with the song Age of Aquarius. And I went to a dance, one of my very first dance recital, and the big people were singing that song. And I think I was crying because I would cry a lot through. And I thought, oh, this is it.
Whoa.
This is here for the expansion. And my little brain didn't have it that way. But it was, it's the expansion of humanity. We're going to get it. I'm here this time with many, many, many other souls. So we can cross the bridge, break the membrane that's been holding us restricted and held back and limited. And yes, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. And that song spoke so clearly to me, not in a way that my little head could understand, but my body knew. And so I would often go back to that space and say, just hang on. We're going to get it. And then I went through a long period of really not being that tapped in to the greater consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I think I always had pretty good insight.
Yeah.
Didn't call it anything more than good insight, I guess, helping friends and coworkers.
All right.
That
So
I
how,
gave a good advice.
when you were little, having that knowing, I'm guessing there wasn't anyone you could talk to, or just, I just
No,
gonna hold this to myself. And yeah, how did you deal with that?
I like put it in my back pocket.
Got
It's
it.
like, this is what's coming.
Okay.
This is what's coming. Around the same time, I also have a remembrance of a Lyran. The Lyran's coming to me to train me when I was
Yeah.
3 or 4. But I didn't really know what it was, and it kind of scared me because it
Oh my
looked like
God.
a big straight
No
line.
kidding.
But again, and then there's all your life stuff going on at the same time. But it was like a pinpoint for me. Don't worry, sweetheart. You're going to be doing this at some time in the arc of your life experience of being Kristine, but it's not now. So go on and have your life, and when the timing's right, you're going to start tapping back into this.
Okay.
You're going to become more of, they use the word becoming. You're going to step. I only hesitate because my team in the greater universe, it has to be a vibrational match for our words, and often there's not a vibrational match. So through the arc of my life, just be me, and then there'd be a time where I need to like really embrace it and say, yes, I hear you, and I will speak it.
Did you grow up in Minnesota?
Mostly, yeah. I was born in outside Detroit, so
Wow.
two very volatile, energetic areas.
Yeah. Why do you feel okay? So I grew up in Georgia, which is a very conservative, constricted, dense area. And I understand why that was a great place for me to be. Now I'm in Ohio, yet know that I'm going to be leaving here soon. So always these transitions, these different areas. Why do you think you're there?
One, on a personal level, I need water. My
Mm,
Syrian energy, I need water. So I was by the Great Lakes, and I'm by a lot of lakes, and I'm actually by 2 rivers, the Mississippi and the St. Croix. So I'm kind of at a convergence, close by, like
mm-hmm.
within a couple miles and 10 miles. But I'm here because there's a lot of friction in the planetary grid right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it has been. And so it looks like the Earth wants to crack it open, and it's the righteousness and service to self and the fear that really the fear of evolution. I'm listening. I will lose myself if I evolve, basically, is the energy that's here.
Wow.
And so we're working really hard wherever your consciousness is, and there's no bad consciousness. It's just like, how do we want to evolve? There's truly a battle. Um, there is, and it's like two sides. There's a battle and there's an awakening. So really the battle is to know thyself as love, but it becomes a battle against one another because I can't find the love within myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's these paradigms that are in place to really keep thumb down. And
Yes.
we've been in a suppressed, oppressed humanity for way too long, thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a good experience to see what it'd be like to not have free will, conscious thought. Whenever you try
Right.
something new, know how many times I tried a new recipe and I had the habit of trying it when I had a company. It's like, don't do that. Don't do it in the company. But no, try it. Well, this should work because I know these 5 ingredients, but I add the sixth one and it doesn't work out the same way I want.
Oh man.
We're kind of doing the same. We did that. And I was like, oh, you know what? There's truly so much to witness and to blend and to weave with each other. But this has to come forward. And then we get to make choice. And
How
there's a lot of World War II energy being, well, a lot of the energy got shoved into World War II, exploded, and we're kind of clearing up the World War II energy right now too.
okay, you're the first person I've had on my show that has
And
how
there's a lot of World War II energy being, well, a lot of the energy got shoved into World War II, exploded, and we're kind of clearing up the World War II energy right now too.
Okay, you're the first person I've had on my show that has talked about that. What more can you tell me about that? That's really interesting. Talked about that. What more can you tell me about that? That's really interesting.
And I'm like you don't really, things come to me as I need to know.
Yeah.
I'll go searching for them. Just last night, somebody said in Minnesota, they're now going door to door checking for ID. We don't do that. You don't do that in a free society.
Wait a minute. Okay, is that through ICE doing
I'm
that?
sorry, through ICE. Yeah. So
Okay,
what happened was the public servants, everything got distorted, and everything
yeah.
that was distorted and inverted is now coming out like gangbusters.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the World War II energy, is that you are not a free being, and I get to decide. Really, I get to decide who lives and dies. Now, that's not all going to play out that way, but we have to get every little bit of energy that is less than love, that is not conscious that I'm a being and you're a being. We all have the same. We all are just beautiful, wonderful beings. There's no separation other than personalities, belief systems. It has to come to surface so we can say no. And how do we say no?
Yeah. Okay. And to really let the audience be clear on that, like I feel every nook and cranny. That's why parts of it are so hard, even within yourself. Like there's so much within me that, oh, there's this other little piece that needs to be healed. Well, I thought I did that. Like, like especially I think facilitators for the light, or for like, we have got, and I'm like, to me, this is me. Clear it all out. You have to clear it all out, because that's what's going on in the world. And to help be a leader or light within this, you have to be good. You have to be willing to look at all of it. So I also wonder, like, it's also kind of, it's not funny, but that's a word. Like, what else is going to be uncovered? It's just like, well, everything. What does that mean?
And probably just the top layer of the soil. Because to uncover everything,
yeah,
is a lot it's a lot for our nervous systems to process.
Yes.
And so wherever your interest may lead you, that will be what is probably uncovered. Some people go 2 or 3 layers deep. Some go really, really deep. And I don't think it's necessary that every nook and cranny needs to be uncovered and brought out, and everybody needs to look at and go into deep despair. But it is to be able to say, what I feel is really necessary. I take responsibility for whatever I've created, consciously or unconsciously. I forgive myself with love wherever I've caused harm to myself or one another. It's really about awareness. I think ascension is awareness. And we're descending the soul into the physical form. Mm-hmm. And so that feels awkward to people. I don't want to feel. I haven't been feeling for a while, or my bandwidth of feelings very limited. I only feel anger and frustration, or I only feel joy and bliss. Well, we're designed to feel all of it, but without harm to one another. Right? And if I can look and say, oh boy, that was kind of ugly of me inside, whatever I did, criticism or judgment or distance, or whatever may occur, like, yeah, you get to say, I no longer do that. And I also revoke consent, and I do it verbally. I revoke consent. Maybe I revoke consent to harming children. I revoke consent to the government overtaking my life, or whatever it may be. I revoke consent to unhealthy food. You get to decide.
And there's so many things to revoke consent around right now.
Revoke consent to everything that goes against.
I'm curious, Kristine, your family, are they? And I know with your husband, I was watching one thing when you decided, tell me if this is correct, to outwardly become a medium. He was like, you can't tell people that. So there's not only that, deciding to be kind of an out person, but yet also knowing what you know. Do you have more of a connection with people? And that's one of the reasons I do the show, is to connect with more like minds who know what's going on. Do you have a community where you are who kind of know what's going on? Or are you kind of in it by yourself? Or let us know.
I meet with a group of people the first Wednesday of every month. A smaller group, just nice, like-minded people in my area. Nice. Friends farmhouse. So that's really nice. I do a lot virtually. My personal life, I'm very blessed because I don't have a lot of friction or a lot of people not wanting me in their life or upset. I think a few are maybe more timid and pull back a little bit,
Yeah.
and things change a little bit, but mostly I think I'm embraced. And maybe they don't embrace this part, but they embrace the rest of me.
And that's
Because
great.
truly I embrace all of them. I mean, as best I can. And there's times you've had to perhaps distance because for me, the way I've operated has changed into really getting on a sovereign or savior, survival, martyr. So I have had to become very aware of where I may be interfering with someone's growth by stepping in too often, even though it's been asked.
Mm.
I'm kind of maybe going away from your question, but yeah, it hasn't been too difficult. I think I set it up that way for myself because my early life was difficult.
Yeah. Can we transition into that? Because from what I understand, as much as you want to talk about that, there was some abuse when you were a child. Do you feel comfortable speaking on that a little
Yeah,
bit?
I think it's necessary.
Okay.
It's yeah, from about 3 months to maybe 3 years, I believe. That feels like the right time frame. Sexually abused by a caretaker.
Okay.
So
Oh,
my mom
three
was not
months.
very well, so she needed help. She needed a lot of help. And and that's also part of the lineage is ritualistic sexual abuse. Now I didn't have the ritualistic aspects, but the energy was there. The energy of the ritualistic was there. And I didn't
Okay.
know that for a very long time. I didn't even have memories till probably,
Right.
I don't know, 8 years, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I don't really always remember the time frame of things, but it was pretty recent.
Oh,
No,
so
within the
how
last 10 years.
did it hit you like a ton of bricks when it
Oh,
did it all?
holy moly. It knocks you to your knees. It literally knocked me to my knees. And
Um,
you had to kind of figure, because and I had warnings. I had inspirations, they're more like inspirations of, first gained some understanding about my mom's experience. After my dad had died, she told me how she was abused, and hers was pretty extreme.
okay.
I thought, oh, this makes sense. I said, didn't she ever tell dad? She said, no, because she had told other people. They told her not. She told social workers and teachers and nuns, I think, and they all told her to quit lying. So everything I understood it really clearly then, but I didn't connect it to me yet. And I
Yeah.
think she was always terrified that I would figure things out. So I didn't figure it out until after she died. But it was helpful to me too. But yeah, it probably took about 2 years to really, if I remember correctly, it knocks the wind out of you, honey.
I so how did you start figuring out? Were you with someone else who helped you find that, or did things just start
I think
bombarding
it
you?
just
Or
started coming in. My
oh,
way that I
jeez.
work best is I'm pretty, there's a party that's really secretive and you don't share a whole lot.
Yeah.
Even though outwardly people think I'm very outgoing, I'm very expressive, and I can be, but there's this inner core that I don't share a whole lot. I keep it close to unless you're a stranger, then it's like it's open book. But people matter, no, we're not gonna, you can't see. We're not gonna just see. Um, I don't really remember how it came in. Let me think. Um, Probably flashbacks. Oh, and the way I like to work, I like to have sessions done with other people. So if I go get a healing session, get some body work, or reach out, I think it's really, you get to decide. But I think it's helpful to get support from different people
I
when that
agree.
makes sense to you. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be an island, even though I spent a lot of time doing that. It's just not helpful for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I was like, don't reach out because I need to trust myself, believe in myself. But I really need the energetic support. So at some point, I think my guidance started to trickle in for me because maybe right after I had the cancer in 2009, I started doing energy work here. And in one of the sessions, I was with a shaman, and one of the very first memories that came in I was about 2.5, 3 months old. I was in the crib and my dad was going to work. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember the thought, he's leaving me. Or no, what was the thought? He's leaving me with her.
Oh, it's a woman. Well,
Yeah.
which makes sense. Okay.
Yep. And so that was the first, okay, you're going to get a little bit of information now that you're not safe. and things occur. And then maybe a couple years later, something else came in. But when it really came in strong, that what occurred, I think I finally just made space in my body. And it started, I honestly don't remember exactly how. I just started seeing, knowing, sensing, understanding that had occurred.
Is she still around? Do
No,
you even know?
it actually was my mom.
It was, oh, it was your
My
mom.
mom, yeah. And
Okay, I didn't quite click
yeah,
that. Okay. Oh
I
my
probably didn't say, I
gosh.
don't know, I've never actually publicly said that. And the reason I'm saying that is because I had great compassion for my mom,
Yeah.
like before I knew about me. And then you kind of go like, oh my God, but it makes sense. But you can
Yeah.
still, and for a long time, I held a lot of compassion for her without holding compassion for myself. And then I had to like allow myself to hate her because of all the things I experienced. And then comes like, oh, this is just an understanding of experience. You don't get there immediately.
Right.
Oh, her part and my part, we got it. We on a soul level and our deepest art to end it. To end it on this planetary system and all over, which is basically power over one another and taking life force from children. And then we can go into deep, we can go into deep in that. But it became it's okay that it happened. There's ripple effects. There's obviously ripple effects. It affected everything in my life. It's an experience, but it also, I know that I chose and created that experience because I do not consent to this anymore. There's too much of it, whether it's through children or just, it's really power over one another. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I hope that all made sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thank you so much for presenting it that way too. And thank you for sharing, because it's really probably clients that you work with the same thing, that have had horrible things happen to them as children, and getting to the point where it all makes sense and it was a spiritual thing, even though parts of it do not seem spiritual at all. And where you are today. So did she stop that when you were 3?
I think she stopped when my younger brother was born. I think she went kind of through a psychosis when I was born. Mm-hmm. And then something clicked. And she tried to leave the body. My mom's here, but now we're talking about her, but we're explaining how things work. And she tried really hard not to recreate her abuse. She almost died when I have 3 brothers and there's me. I'm the 3rd. She almost died when my first brother was born. Second brother, I think she had a little bit of a mental pause. She kind of just like went numb. Mm-hmm. When I was born, it kicked it up again because one, I'm a daughter. Mm-hmm. Didn't want it. And then my youngest brother, Brian, she almost died then too. Was I think hospitalized for a couple months. I'm not really sure. So she tried really hard to break it, but she also had her own living to do and her own healing to do. And I think most of her life she was terrified that I may have some remembrance. I don't even know what she remembers. I mean, her and I, after she died in 2010, we haven't really had that discussion. But I know in physical life, she was pretty afraid that I would reject her and maybe remember some way.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Wow. And I did. I reject, there's times I said, I can't be with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to work it out. And we did. So, but never to the depths of it.
Okay. I'm going to sit with that for just a second. Now, your husband sounds really great from what I've garnered. And y'all, how long have y'all been together?
50 years in May.
Oh my gosh.
I met him when I was 14.
What?
I know, right? Don't say go out and do it. And he's an engineer by trade. His training, his education was an engineer.
Okay, so he's also very A plus B equals C, and now he's with you, who doesn't A plus B equals Z and Y and M. Okay, awesome.
And he's done his own arc. Like he understands. He's even he uses my language, or we imprint on each other. And he grew up with me pretty much. So my mom was very psychic and talked like that, was kind of the weird, So he's used to that a little bit, but as far as being public, that was scary for him. When I started doing light language, that was even like, what? Don't do that. And now he's pretty comfortable with everything, I think.
Well, Let's hope so. And you have grandchildren at this point?
I
Four,
do
I
have
think.
four grandchildren. I have two adult children, a son and a daughter and a son, and then they each had a daughter and a son.
Oh,
So
wow.
they're pretty tapped into
Really?
grandkids. Yeah.
That's got to
The
be
oldest is
delicious.
7. I don't know what she's gonna, I'm not sure how she's going to, what her conscious involvement is. They're all really bright and she remembers a lot. And she talks to the plants and the crystals, they all do. Right. These children that are born last 10 years, they're just crystal diamond. They're mostly want to come in. They're not here to clear karma or clear up ancestral lines. They're
So
just
great.
clear slates. And some of them are still doing that, but yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, but it's
nice.
fun.
That is really, and they're so cool to have you and their family to really open up to that. All right. Tell about, so in 2009, you had the cancer. How, just give me it's kind of a time frame. So 2009, you weren't doing this work at that point. Then after the cancer, you started stepping
Yeah,
into it more?
2009 gave me the opportunity to, I woke up one morning, I just heard, honey, you either start doing your work or you're checking out. And I didn't know what that meant either. But I thought, okay. But there's cancer here. I can feel it. And I just knew there's cancer. So my doctor next day said, I have breast cancer. He said, I said, yeah, it's there. And it was. And years ago, I knew if I ever had cancer, because I kind of knew I kind of knew that was in my field. But I would not be the person that would do really holistic and naturopath because I know I wasn't disciplined for it, even though
Mm.
that's really my belief system. So I had surgery, really dense chemo, and then radiation.
Ooh.
The value of that was for me, it slowed me down and let me receive. I received a lot. Oh my gosh, tremendous love. Just like oodles
Yeah.
and oodles and oodles of love. And in that space of slowing down, somewhere in there, probably after the year was completed, I started receiving more information clearly, even though it's not like a demarcation line because I always got insights and
Yeah.
it's not with your imagination or you have you really just, wow, my mind's really going someplace today. But then I really started paying attention. And after I got done with the treatments, I kept hearing life coach. And I thought, what's a life coach? Am I making that up? I hadn't heard the term yet. So I actually went to a psychic in Minneapolis and I said, what am I supposed to be doing? I said, I'm hearing life coach. She goes, well, yeah, go out to North Dakota. I said, and I heard San Francisco. So out to San Francisco. And that's really when I started tapping in. And that's when things really came clear. Allowed myself to slow down enough, not a lot, but slow down enough to, because I'm still working on my nervous system, to allow it to come in. And then the Arcturians came in. I always knew about the angels. I had no idea what an Arcturian was. They just presented themselves in my room, 3 great big globes. And it was like 300. And then my whole house just disappeared and there's thousands. And I said, well, who are you? And they said, the Arcturians. So I had to Google it.
Okay, what? What are you? when
And it's like
when you
real.
when
And
you
in between
Googled it.
there, yeah, in between I started doing something called 3 heart balancing, which was a modality that a lady in the Twin Cities had developed with the Palladians. And I didn't know what that was either.
Yeah,
They
so
had all these little pebbles in front of me.
Pebbles. Okay, so in 2010, I'm assuming in terms of because it's so much that information is so much more available now. Was it hard to find or still easy or
Um, the healing, like the healing touch, that part was pretty easy to find,
mm,
even though, part of me just like, this is what I'm doing. I'm just going to share and either you're interested or you're not interested.
yeah.
And then some things I kind of held close to the vest too. But once I got into that world of healing and energy, no stopping me.
Man,
Yeah.
that's neat. And I love how it seems like everything has been trickled in on a level that you could handle it, even though the cancer was okay, a big wake up call. How
So
your
I wasn't
mom?
paying attention.
Say it again.
Cancer came in because you're not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was similar, and the love I can relate to that too. That like I feel that that's one of the reasons that it spiritually needed to happen to me. Just quickly, I was when I was diagnosed, I was set to catch a plane to go to a high school reunion that weekend. So I don't know. This is in Georgia. I was in Ohio. I'm not very close to anybody there. But again, it being a very conservative state, I was put on prayer list after prayer list. So when I was in the hospital, and because they were supposed to see me, so it meant something where normally it'd be like, oh, Eden, way up there. Oh, there's a cancer diagnosis. But they were supposed to see me. So it was so amazing. And then, I didn't have this, but was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So when my kids were around 12 and 10, so everybody kind of looking at that being a really heavy duty, so prayers and it was, how old were your kids at the time?
And luckily, or the way I set up, my kids were, Nick was just graduating. He had just graduated high school, was just starting college. My daughter was already in college, so I wasn't raising kids, so I had time for myself.
Wow.
That was probably the part that scared me, was my son. I didn't want to tell him.
Oh.
And I didn't drop him off to college like I did with my daughter. So that was something I had to work through, because I felt a lot of emotion and probably guilt.
Yeah.
And at that time I actually put my coworkers in front of my family, because I think there's probably a little bit of denial too. But so my kids were older. So that was helpful. And my mom was diagnosed right after me with brain cancer.
I know. I was going to talk. Okay. So yeah, that's crazy. You know what? My uncle was diagnosed with brain cancer during the same time. It's different, but similar. What happened?
But it's because the soul pod's working, the soul group's working on something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only way we can evolve or go beyond something is like, what's not our most accurate truth. So we got to figure out this, and we don't have that language.
Yeah.
We don't have, I love watching my kids now, because that's a nice window to what's going on. They have so many different tools and language and ways of parenting and just being aware of themselves. I mean, I'm like, I watch my kids, and I have to really remind myself, don't go into, gee, I wish I would have. Or because I heard a couple of years ago, I probably looking at my son thinking, oh, I wish I would have done this. I missed that. And don't do that. You are now telling them there's something wrong with them. Even if you don't tell them verbally, the energy's there. There's something wrong with you because I missed something. And then my son came in telepathically one day and said, Mom, if you would have been the mother, and I was, actually a pretty good mom, but if you'd have come in and did every little step for me, you weren't going to be my mom, because I need to evolve through experience. I need to miss a couple things. I need to be almost disassociated from myself sometimes to be able to step back in. So we have greater ability now to see why we have the relationships we have, why we respond to life the way we do, and then we have greater choice. And that's what we're at now. We're at choice point.
Did your mom pass away from the brain cancer?
She did. I had her 8 weeks, and that's exactly what it was. I took a break during chemo so I could bring her home and do hospice. I did hospice with her, and that was a lovely experience. If you ever have a chance to, whatever works for you, but if you ever have a chance to witness and be with someone and really complete that circle of love, because even though my mom was abusive, there was love there. I that's what's so confused. I always felt it, and I think I felt the soul love.
Yeah.
She obviously couldn't love her. She had a hard time loving herself in a personality way. But the soul, when you really just breathe, and that's what the world needs. We just need to breathe. Your divinity and my divinity we have the same frequency. We may be playing different instruments in the same orchestra, but man, love and authenticity, that never goes away. It gets dimmed or it gets heightened. And when through hospice with my mom, it was heightened for both of us and everybody in the room. And I know what I do, you do, and it affects everything goes, and it doesn't really lose momentum. Man, I don't know, it's 3 million people or 3 billion people, but the momentum doesn't really stop until you take a conscious choice to change it.
So you took a break from your chemo. You still weren't healed, let's put it that way.
Oh.
Probably not feeling all that great, because chemo is intense anyway. So what an experience. How were you able to be there as fully as you were?
I think by choice. And I did work with my docs. We had set up a break And the year previously, before I got diagnosed, we were going to take my daughter was a senior in high school. My timeline's confusing. Maybe she wasn't a senior high. My son was a senior high school. But anyway, we were doing a cruise with my daughter-in-law's family before she, family she married into. And my mom was dying. We're like, well, what do we do? We take the cruise, not crazy. My mom's like, take the cruise. And I'm like, okay. And my sister-in-law said, well, what do you do if she dies? I said, well, I'll be back. I didn't have a sense she was leaving while I was gone. But that was my last conscious conversation. Am I answering your question? So I took a break because because I planned it. And you kind of, you get the reserves. It's like birthing, right?
Yeah.
If anybody's had a baby, you kind of get that surge of energy because you need to do something. And it wasn't a long hospice, so it wasn't physically strange. It's only about 10 days, I think, 9-10 days. I came home from a cruise and I'm like, we need to bring her home now. So we did. We brought her to my house.
Okay. Man, as you're communicating this, I have to share, I'm seeing the color pink and just love all in your room. It's amazing. So you got through the cancer and the time, I don't want to say got through. You
survive it, you experience it, you go beyond it. Yeah, those
you
things,
went
right?
beyond those experiences. And then after you just really started stepping in to I won't say the new you or the part of you that you really started discovering. How was that transition?
Yeah, for me, it was really fun.
What'd you do before? Were you stay-at-home mom? Did you really focus on your kids? But you also said work.
I mostly focused on my kids. I really wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, create a nice, loving home, best I could, safe home, with like just as much as I could. But I had all these, I never wanted a career. I had jobs. I was a mail carrier for a while. I worked in retail for a long, long time, in and out of retail. I worked in the schools. I was a para for special ed before I was diagnosed. My husband and I opened up a chocolate store franchise. We did that for a while.
Oh my gosh.
When my kid, I did all kinds of things, but mostly I just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. But I always had some kind of, little job once my kids were like in first or second grade.
All right. So, and moving, it was fun and adventurous. Okay. Because now, how would you describe it now? Let's go ahead and jump ahead.
Now there's no separation between my personal life and my professional life.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You just are. I feel like you're always, it's not on. I have really good boundaries.
Yeah.
Like I do not walk around and tap into other people's energies or what's going on in them. None of my business. One, it's just not interesting to me. And you have to have a really good sense of your own energy. Like you have to have, for me, I have to have I use the word separation, but it's really not. I just have to have clear boundaries. Mm-hmm. This is when I'm working, when I'm not. No matter what your career is, you have to be not working at some point.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I want to have fun. I have a better nervous system now. My husband's retired. I've got grandkids. I love working. I'm going to work until I'm 90, 102, however. I may shift how I work, but you're always connected. Always, always, always. Just not maybe in the really dense physical way. Oftentimes clients will come and say, oh, you were with me last night. I need some help. You came in and helped me. Or I'll hear that. So you're never not consciously communicating, aligning with another person. I think it's impossible not to. That's why the collective, right? That's why we get messy sometimes in the collective, because we're always each other's energies.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the world as it is right now. I loved also that we're going from 3D to 5D, yet there are a ton more dimensions than just, I think you had expressed, and I agree, that there are 9 dimensions that tell me if this is correct too, we're kind of conscious of, that we can be conscious of, yet there's many beyond that. I also liked this one where you talked about where most people have 30 guides, from angels to ascended beings. So let's talk about like ascension and not the possibilities that out there, the things that are out there that people may not be aware of. And especially during this time where things are just increasing and it's just so good. Let's talk about the good stuff, Kristine.
Yeah, it is so good. And we have to just be really aware of it. I was talking to somebody else. I said, I think a great exercise, sorry, I've got to put my sweater on here. I think a great exercise is to just go to Target or wherever you live and just go witness people. You will see more interactions that are generous and friendly and kind and engaging than less. But I will let you know, it will mirror where you're at. It will mirror where you're at. So if you're kind of crabby that day, that may be all you see. If you're irritated, if you're isolated, but when you just kind of like set the intention, I want to see the best humanity today. And I want to be the best humanity. You will see that. But we are in a very, like the earth is cracking open. There's a great divide.
Yes.
And the great divide is necessary. And the reason it's necessary because those who are maybe more aware of their consciousness, we can say along their sacred path, but they have to keep just doing themselves without really paying attention to a whole lot of that, perhaps, because we have to create a bigger bandwidth. Like the stage needs to be bigger for more people to sit on this iceberg. Looks like a floating iceberg, right? We need more people on that one, and then less people on the other iceberg where it's really dense and they don't know themselves as source. They don't understand. And this is not a blame or judgment. For many souls decide that. Some are holding that space so others can launch off. Some don't have enough experience on a soul level of remembrance that, what it is to be divided and righteous and all that. So to me, there's not one's right or wrong. It just is. But we have more people stepping into a higher state of consciousness. I'm done with the old way. I'm really done demeaning humanity. I'm done having power over one another. And so we're going to see all the ugly come out right now. And when people talk about disclosure, it's disclosure of everything. Of everything that's not working. And more people are, they understand the galactics. Angelic realm, surprising to me even as a kid, people didn't understand. I'm like, well, you're telling me you're religious, but you don't believe in angels? Like, it never made sense to me that you had to have a separation between who's allowed. But anyhow, I'll get back to like present time. Just look around, like last 2 years, people are light language. When I started doing light language about 8-9 years ago,
yeah,
I didn't know anybody that had done that. I just knew that it was divine and it was perfect and coming through for the clients who needed it. So I never questioned it as, I never questioned it. I know it took my guides about 6 years to work on my vocal cords to be able to get it through. That's what they told me. To clear enough energy, because I was born in 1961, so that's pretty dense energy. So I have to clear all that. Now, I mean, like, you've been doing this for 6 months, and which is wonderful, right? More and more people, right? More and more help. The oceans are full. They mean that metaphorically, but yeah.
Yeah, so. And it's really neat. A lot of people that come on my show do it. I started doing it several years ago. Didn't know what it was, but I'm like, okay, because I always use tones, but then a language started coming through, and I had a couple of clients that were just like, hey, this is coming through. Can I? Oh yeah, do whatever you want, Eden. So it's been the past couple years that it's become more fluent, I guess you'd call it. And there was a time that it was heavier, but now it's not as heavy right now. I don't know if you're experiencing that, but I just trust it comes when it needs to.
It does. And mine started with toning too. Mm-hmm. And I never know, like, I don't really feel it. I just, like, you just cannot stop it. And then people tell me, oh, I'm hearing or feeling different sequences. I'm feeling different, things come through. But yeah, you can't stop it. And for me, when it's really dense energy, my voice gets really, really low. It's a different octave. It's different collective working. A lot of times the dragons come in, work with the really low energy or some angelic realm. So it's very almost guttural, and then kind of changes. Lately it's been coming through as more sing-songy. And, every species or every nation, they have different octaves of consciousness too. So angelic realm maybe 5th to 9th to 10th, 11th. Dragons go, 3rd to about 14th, 15th. I only go up to about 9th to 14th, but I know, of course, there's more than that. But just in this conscious era, maybe in our planetary system, I don't really know yet. But there's infinite dimensions and infinite densities.
Infinite. Who do you connect with the most, if that's a accurate question, or like today, who is around you the most? I don't know.
Today, the Syrians are here.
Okay. Thank
The
you.
Syrians are very active, and I've always been very, love the whales and dolphins. They come through that energy a lot.
Oh my God.
So
amazing.
Everything's available, but you
Mm-hmm.
kind of go through this remembrance, I think. So as the angelic realm, Sister of the Rose, which is a lot of the Mary Magdalene and Isis, and the feminine energy, Venetians, animals. I did that. That was real deep connection for me. The plant kingdom. Now it's a lot, mostly galactic. And I work with about 14, 15 different councils of the galactic energies. And I don't always know, like, I don't have just one channel. It doesn't just say, okay, you're only an Orion channel or something. And I used to think, oh, should I do that? And then, no, you're just like, you're an ambassador for consciousness. And right now you're this life experience can be the galactic remembrance, because we all have it within us. I'm a human, and I maybe have, my ancestry may be Italian and German and Irish or something like that, or Colombian or whatever. But I also have all the DNA of everything. And then we're coming into wholeness now. So for me, mine is about bringing galactic healing. We're all refugees. We're all refugees, which I think is why we understand grief and sorrow pretty well, because we come from another planetary system. Mm-hmm. Some we come because our planetary system was not working well, or was destroyed, or we came, followed family or whatever, or got lost, or whatever. So very similar to like our human experience. We're all refugees from someplace. We've all been separated from family, whether by circumstance or just emotional distance. And so mine is healing like before you became human. Mm-hmm. And then other people are healing the human. And, there's no separation. It trickles down. So that's where my understanding is right now, is I really work with the galactic field for cosmic realm.
That's so needed right now. So my awakening, I've been spiritually awake, if you want to call it that, but my awakening to the matrix happened during the lockdowns. And I can't remember exactly, because I always believed that we weren't alone, but my spiritual had been like doing parallel lives and that sort of thing. But then my world cracked open into the galactics. And I remember when I discovered I was a starseed, I started crying, because it was one of those things, never feeling like you fit in the earth, never feeling like I was meant to be here. It was such an emotional, wonderful connection. Have you experienced that with other people?
Many, many other people. Many people say, I want to go home. I said, well, just bring home here.
Oh,
just bring home here. It's energy. It's consciousness. Bring it here. And it may take practice and intention, mm-hmm. but see, that's the inverted truth. We're not supposed to go anywhere or be something different. We're all walking masters, even those with really low consciousness. You forgot your divine spark. You forgot that there's all these layers in between. And yes, there are beings and individuals who really are not working at that level. They really want power over one another, mm-hmm. But basically it's the non-remembrance. To me, ascension is increasing the awareness and bringing in the soul essence more into the body.
This feels great to go into the Just Be practice, because that kind of encapsulated anything. Yet I do want to ask you, is there anything else you want to say regarding that? Because I feel like there's another, there is more. I am going to ask this question, but this might not be the last. Well, in terms of increasing that awareness, in terms of connecting to this great awakening and the energies that are there, I loved your exercise that you gave people about going to Target. If you went, because humanity is awesome, and we are told through the media and everything that humanity sucks, that you can't trust your neighbor, and you can. There's so much love and there's so much heart out there. Do you have any other recommendations, I guess is the best way to say it, in terms of helping people? Because I agree with you. Bringing home here, because there are still times when I'm just like, okay, I'm ready to be done. But you chose to be here,
Yeah,
Eden.
I
Like,
remember. So it's really changing belief systems, and it can be very challenging to change belief systems,
mhm.
especially when they're very ingrained. I think I had an easier time because as a kid, things just didn't make sense to me, even though I didn't verbalize them. How could, I remember being a little kid in like church and they're saying, well, Jesus only you only get to be with Jesus if you believe in him. I'm like, well, what if I never heard of him? Like, but I'm doing everything, but I'm
Right.
living Christ-like life.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
So it made no sense. Or I lost my train of thought. But so going forward, I think it's really having a conscious choice. One, I think it's saying conscious saying, I take responsibility for my life. Can't blame anybody anymore. So easy to say, well, I'm
Yes.
late for work because my kids, didn't wake up, or my dog this or whatever. It's like, well, I'm late for work because, I didn't plan my day right, or whatever. It's taking responsibility and starting to see yourself as a creator,
Mhm.
right? Or co-creator, or it's really starting to see yourself as worthy. And so listen, where do I not feel worthy of something? A promotion, a pat on the back, somebody holding my hand, somebody opening the door. Like look at the little things in life, and then ask for your guidance, your highest self, whatever you relate to. If highest self, universe, trees, angels, galactics, whatever makes sense to you. Yes, I want to receive. So like go try to transfer from I need to earn something, like I need to earn my paycheck, I need to earn a
Yep.
compliment. I'm in the flow of receiving. The ocean goes backwards and forward just because that's what it does. It just flows. It doesn't check in with anybody to see, it is okay for me to bring in high tide or low tide. It just does. So it is body awareness, really body awareness. Where am I tight? Where am I fluid? Relaxed. And then look for confirmation. And I can guarantee you get confirmation every day of what your energy field is. My consciousness is life is not great. You will get that confirmation
Yes.
every single day. You'll get 1,000 days. If you get it, you start saying, can I see a different perspective? Who was I with the other day? Animal or a little kid, but they're trying to teach a lady, like, literally change your physicality. Get on your knees. What's that perspective? Stand up. What's that perspective? Stand on a chair. What's your perspective? Right. So get a
Nice.
perspective. Has anybody ever been to Tony and Tina's wedding? That used to be a really popular play in the Twin Cities. I don't know if it's wrong,
No, I'm not familiar, but
but
maybe other people are.
it's an interactive play. And
Okay.
every time you'd go, depending on where you sit, you'd see a different thing because there's all
Nice.
like what's on stage, but then they have characters all around the room. And
Nice.
you think this character's doing this, like, oh, but over here, they're doing. So it's really like you get to change your perspective. And then also invite yourself, what's my offering to the world? We're going from service to self to service. It doesn't matter how you do it. You can be the best baker, the best, neighbor, the best cleaner. And we don't mean sacrifice.
Hmm. Right.
That means sacrifice. That's a low density. That
Yes.
doesn't help anybody. But what do I want to offer? My vibration, my conscience, my smile or lack of a smile has an effect on the world. And then just really watch your judgment. And it's okay. Oh my gosh, I'm judging again. Oh, but I caught it. Like really some basic things. Maybe I'm sure a lot of people are talking about this, but it starts with self.
It does.
And then get help and support wherever that makes sense to you. Whether it's going to concert, listening to music, paying attention to music, listen to, get in a session with somebody, having a cup of coffee with somebody who enlightens you. You feel better after the exchange.
Mm. Thank you so much. Now let's move into the practice. Do you feel like language is still in there, or yeah?
Yeah, it's
Where
coming
where are
through.
you?
So it's not. It's like I'm getting ready for performance, but like I got all the backup singers here. In a different life, I'm gonna be the girl. I want to be Diana Ross and the Supremes, but so I have my backup singers here.
Okay, we're ready for all y'all.
So
Get your vocal cords ready.
yep, Andromedans, Syrians, Orion, um, Palladian, Palladian, and sun energy is going to come through. Sometimes
Hmm.
they come in through all at the same time layered, or you may know the dragons are here too. So you may notice differences, but many times it's just different vibrations coming through one voice.
Got it.
So, and then
just be practice.
Get ready.
So
feels good.
I used to call it, I always call this team the Delightfuls. Because they like to come in, they just kind of, and they are very, what do she get? They're Venusians. They're very, which is, just love and bliss, and, that's their energy field. So we want to honor and celebrate each person listening in the now, or in the now, wherever that time frame may be, for engaging and celebrating and offering yourself to us so that we may respond to you. Be the joy and the love that is within you, and be that walking and talking in every moment of your day to the best of your ability. Some red dragons are here now. Tell people with the physical plane that we're on right now, because things are kind of burning up right now. So they're bringing the soothing energy, the soothing waters, along with dragons, dolphins, and whales, and with the earth energies too, to keep this as calm and peaceful, even though there's ignitions and fires to be put out. But we do not ever judge another being's desire as to how they want to express themselves. We are here to assist, but never to do. But our energies and your energies can cohabitate and weave together and collaborate into higher and better consciousness for this whole planetary system. There's some heart coherences being brought forward to those who would like to just say yes. I would like some assistance with my heart space. So we're also going to help for those who choose. We're going to align your energy field, all the energy centers. Maybe some that even aren't open yet. We can help and assist with that also. Very important to know that as you call on assistance and support, it is not coming from another source than you, just another definition of yourself. Your presentation now is as a human. This lovely, it presents as Kristine, but she knows she carries all the divine within her, the angelic realm, the plant realm, the galactic realm. The songs of the universe are also the songs of her heart and the songs of your heart, dear one. Do you see how we spiral and weave all of our energies together? We may be separate nations, but we are not separate consciousness. We all have a different voice, maybe, or different offering that we bring to humanity, we bring to each and every other planetary system that we play with and we delight in. And yes, we are very aware of what you so call the negative aspects on the planetary system, in your system and in our systems. We have some rogue elements that have left other planetary systems, that have landed and taken home space on your planetary system. But please be aware, dear ones, that the energy that holds them in this frame, that holds them in your sphere, no longer is supportive, because you have now reached a level of consciousness on your whole planetary system where you say, no more, we are done. We no longer desire to be in quarantine. We no longer have the need to protect others because our consciousness is so low. We witnessed, and we speak as one. You have now evolved into a space where what ripples out from you is of a higher quality, we could say, that does not cause harm to other systems. Just as you become more aware of your choices, you do not cause harm to the person next to you. And when you're at a lower consciousness, only in service or self or in survival mode, your thoughts, words, deeds, and actions not only cause harm to yourself, they cause harm to one another. We will close this transmission with just the energies of love. You may feel a nice ignition of the love that you hold within your heart is now safe for you to let that be expressed to all and to yourself, and to enrobe yourself in love and deep compassion, dear ones. And we are complete.
Because you're a little shaky there.
And they could have talked for about 6 hours, but we know we don't have that time. So whatever we do doesn't stop now because it physically stopped.
Yeah.
It will just keep whoever is listening now or whenever they listen to it. It will just keep the flow doesn't stop. But you may have to say, okay, I need to like slow it down a bit because I'm acclimating to what's coming, but it's never ending. And if you listen to this now, or you listen to it in 6 months, you listen to it twice, you'll pick up whatever's best for you.
It was neat when you did the heart sounds expressions at the end. They were like, my eyes were kind of rolling back in my head, and like my brain was kind of like da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So nice.
Updating our system. It's like literally updating our computer system.
I needed mine updated today, so thank you so much. And I do have one remaining question. This may fit with you or not. Let's see. If you were going to share with this community, with people listening, a deception, okay, that is not true, how would you answer that question?
Basically, what you think to be true is not. That's like the bottom. So, and you have great evidence. So pick a subject. So, yeah, of course, to me, my heart is near and dear to children.
Yeah.
And what's the atrocities. So we're given really clear information through the media and through movies and things, but they're saying, look and just see what's not true here. So if our educational system is to help people develop into a person, why do we restrict the thought so much? Why do we restrict movement so much from age 5, which is right before you start to go in, you start to lose your remembrance, right? So just look around, see, as the medical system, what is the most enhancement for humanity? Is the financial system? Is the grocery system? It doesn't really, we're not here to tell you what you should be paying attention to, but just see, is there untruth in this situation? Is there untruth? It very much reminds me of when you talk to people and they've been married for a very long time and they don't know that the other person's out of the marriage, either through just we're out or infidelity. You have to own that you are so disconnected from that person you didn't know it. Or perhaps you believe in their lies. So it goes back in that inner noise. Something's off here. So you have to look in the world. What's off and what do I want more of? Do I want the blinders on? Because blinders are really comfortable.
Oh, heck yeah, they are.
And I get to blame. Why isn't somebody else doing something?
Mm-hmm.
So hope that answered your question.
That does. And I will put a little bit in there. I've talked about this a little bit on the show. I'm going to a retreat in January, March. So the reason this retreat is so mind-blowing for me, it also changes the aspect of food and water. So when we talk about untruths, it just, at least for me, continues to unfold because we've always been taught, if you don't eat this much or don't drink this much water in a period of time. So the retreat that I'm going to, I will not be drinking or eating. And there are people on the planet right now that, it's amazing, that don't eat or drink at all. There's just a handful.
And none of us have enough oxygen. None of us.
Yeah.
So that's really how the human body's designed. And I'm not overcorrecting it, but what I'm hearing is there's many designs for the human body, but it's really for less.
Yeah. We
really are energy beings and we can just exist on energy. And that's why some of the nefarious things that have been happening, because the beings, Joe Blow, whoever it is down that's trying to have power, doesn't recognize I'm energy, and I get my own energy source from me. So breatharians already know that.
Breatharians, yeah. Yeah. And to think that this starvation and having food withheld and there not being enough food, that again, not having to be a part of that anymore. It's just, we are just moving into a time where it's so neat that almost everything you can look at and go, is that really true? Is that real? Because yeah, this is one of those things for me that's just like, boom. So I'll let y'all know.
For hours, right? But you're gonna have such a wonderful time in Spain or Portugal.
Yeah, Spain.
Yeah. And you're gonna bring back.
I know I'm going to be a different person. Energetically,
so right.
food-wise, water-wise, it's really this, to me, it's kind of the shift or the kick in the britches that I need to really, really explode. Is that the word? So yeah.
It's also like all the little particles want to rearrange differently. You're all so excited. It's a little party going on in Eden's little body.
Party, I know. So I'll let y'all know how that goes. And also I have to tell you, Kristine, it's so interesting that the guy that's doing the retreat, he basically had an intro video and he's like, you really don't want to talk about this. I would encourage you not to talk about it with too many people because they will not understand. And I did express it to a group that I thought they would be a little bit more understanding, and there were just crickets. Like, what are you doing? What does this mean? So I do not mind talking about it on the show because this is what we are all about. Yet it's just going to be so interesting when I come back. Anyway, Kristine, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome for bringing your honesty and just disclosing some really personal stuff. I love that. And I think it's going to help so many people as well. So Minnesota, keep bringing your light there. And, and your contact information, I'm going to post it as well. Is it best for me to post your website first?
Website's really easy. Yep. Just KristineKieland.com.
Okay. And Kieland is Kieland.
Correct. And Kristine with a K.
Kristine with a K. All right, Kristine. Talk soon. Everybody, stay tuned. The next week, Pia and Cullen, my only regulars, are going to be on the show. So unless something happens, that's what's coming up. Be cool, everybody. See you, Kristine. Thank you. Y'all, find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Truth Social, as well as Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, plus a plethora of other audio directories like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So like, subscribe, do it all. See ya.